Hey friends, my name is Ryan from Geek Forensic YouTube channel, and in this podcast, we'll have to make a very basic Python app that shows something like this. So we have a name, a gender, and these are like labels, and we have entry or a text box that asks us to type our name, and whenever the user will type in, depending on the gender, so if it's male or female, and then when the user hits submit, it's gonna display in the console that says hello and the name. And if it's a male, it's gonna say how are you, sir. If it's a female, it's gonna say how are you, ma'am. And that is the idea of the entire project. Okay, so enough talking, let's go ahead and build this project. So I'm using PyCharm IDE, like I said, and this is something that you can download it for free. It's open source, and it's easy to set up and install. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is to create a new project. Click this, or I have my recent projects open here, so I have hello and Python, so I'm gonna have to click this one. This is from my previous project, so it's gonna load Python project. Okay, so this was my old project, and I'm not going to worry about this. So what I'm gonna do right now is to like right click here and click new, and then Python file, and let's put a name. So in my case, I'm gonna have to say um, GUI2.py. So that's the name of the file. Okay. So first thing now, let's go ahead and import our Tkinter class. So the way we do that in Python is typing from tk Tkinter and then import and then the star sign or asterisk, and that's how you import the Tkinter library. And again, like I said, Tkinter is a library or a package in Python that allows us to make a simple graphical user interface window or something like that. So that's the reason why we need a tkinter project. And then we have to have a root that's gonna be equal to tk. Okay, and then let's have root dot main loop. Okay, next next is that we have to have like the dimensions of our GUI. So in order for us to do that, let's type root dot geometry, and let's have a dimension of 300. Make sure you have quotation. So 300 by 400, that's the size of our or dimension of our root. And let's have like L1, it's a variable, so that's label 1 is equal to label. And this takes two parameters. The first thing is where do we want it to put this label? In our case, let's put this on our root. And then the text parameter. So like I said, based on our example, so this is our label one, and the text is gonna be name. So we have to type in here name, and since I'm lazy right now, I don't have to write these lines, so I'm just simply copy and paste, and this is going to be L2, and it's gonna be gender. Okay. And in my previous example, I'm gonna have to type in L1.pack, so to put this on to our root. But we can also use this technique called the grid. Okay, so instead of doing pack, we can use the L1.grid. Okay, and this takes a single parameter. Um, Let me check. So this is row one. Okay, this is gonna be row one, row two, and then row three, and column one, column two. So our name is going to be in row one. Okay, So that's row equals 1. And also our L2 dot grid is going to be in row, and I believe that's going to be 2. Okay, so that's what we have to do. And oh, by the way, we also need to check our time. We also need to like put the text box, and this is going to be entry. Okay, so it's ENT, and then entry. Now, where do we want to put the entry? And again, it's in root. Okay, and then let's have a radio button for the male and female. So I'm gonna have to type in RD1 for radio button one, and again that's radio button, and this is going to take like 4 parameters. So first one is again it's gonna be root, and then the text is going to be male. Now let's have a variable, and this is going to be var underscore check, var check, and then the value is going to be 1. Okay, and again I'm not going to copy or type these line of code. Sorry for that. So I'm just gonna have to copy and paste and change this to RD2. This is going to be female. So I'm going to use common variable, which is var check, and then the value is going to be 2, that one. And we also need to have var in here. So var, let's declare this ch key, which is the name of the variable, is equal to int var. Okay, this is the location of our if we choose like male, var check is going to be 1. If we choose female on the other side, var check is going to be 2, and that's the whole idea of this. Okay, and then what we have to do right now, and I think, oh, let's put the ent. So that's ent dot grid, and it's gonna be row equals to 1, and then the column is going to be equals to 1 as well. Okay, and the next is the rd1 dot grid. This one, here's the thing. So this is our like the radio button 1, the radio button 2, and then they are sitting in row 2 and column 2, right? So what we have to do here is let's go ahead and add male and female. Okay, the radio button. So what we have to do is it's gonna be row, sorry for that, row 2, and then the column is going to be 1, and let's have a sticky equals to W. Now the reason why we have a sticky is that, as you can see in our example, the column 1, or this is going to be column 2, it is like divided into two, which is left for the male and the right for the female. So for the left it's going to be W, so that's the reason why RD1, which is our male, is in W. And then, okay, so let's go ahead and copy this, paste it here. This is going to be RD2, and this is going to be E for the right. And then let's go ahead and run this and see if we can run this. Let me check. We do, and there we go.